that one.
よし。
Let's see what happens. Gone all to pieces.
I take it you've a plan in mind this time for how you're going to escape, don't you, cousin?
He's back again, Baldy.
Hey, sir. Sisyphus, you mind my asking what you did to warrant this particular arrangement you've got here? Pushing a boulder till the end of time and all. Never heard it in your own words.
Well, it's a bit of a long story, Prince. My time had come, though I just wasn't ready, you might say. Your father thought he had me in his clutches, but then, shoom, I gave him the slip. Your father's henchman, Thanatos, he'll back me up on that.
Outsmarted Thanatos, that's amazing. What happened then?
Turns out your father doesn't like us mortals cheating death. Eventually they found me, so now I'm stuck here with my boulder friend. I push old Baldy up the hill to the beat of the Fury's whips, then he tumbles down, and then we go again.
So then you're stuck forever. No reprieve. That's terrible. Wish there was something I could do to help.
You save those sympathies for someone else, Your Highness. I could be Prometheus, spending an eternity having my liver gobbled up. But instead, I get to stay in shape and have these chats with you. Now, I'd better get back to it. Got just the thing.
You know, I think I'm growing more accustomed to relating to a giant stone.
なんか喋ったりせえへんのかい。
Fair enough. Baldy, how do you handle being trapped in Tartarus for all eternity, doomed to be pushed up and down a hill repeatedly for no good reason?
Oh.
I'll pay for that.
I thought that ferryman would be content to transfer souls across the river Styx, not rob you on your journey to the surface there, nephew.
Lovely.
Well. Know something, Red Blood? Try as I might, I still have not forgiven you for beating me last time. Call it a crippling character flaw, I don't know.
今更そんなこと言われても知ってるわ。
Forgiveness can take time, though self-reflection is a healthy step. We're making progress.
You think we're making progress? Here? Why, you piece of trash. I'll show you progress. We are... Again?
Right there.
あ、間違えた。
Surely you've heard the rumblings about a war which has erupted on the surface here. Doubtless you've seen an influx of fallen mortals. It's quite a decent one, I have to say. Though unlikely to rise to the ranks of the greats. Too few armies involved in it, I fear.
He's back.
Once took a skinny little chap down to the underworld. Got the business end of a sharp spear, he did. He had it coming, though. A lot of lying and cheating and the like. Last that I heard, he's still making his amends down there.
誰のことや。ああ。スケリーのこと。
Let us wage war together, then.
I knew there was a possibility that you would side against me once again, but your doing so never ceases to amaze, cousin.
She won't let this go.
冗談じゃないですか。
You see, I have my father's temper, Zagreus. I am able to keep it in check, though I expect you to do your part.
前もそんなこと言ってなかった。
Uncle Poseidon, I have a special catch for you, although it pales next to your sheer awesomeness.
Now would you look at that? Is that an offering to your most favorite uncle, me? You know what, nephew? I've decided I shall take it. Thanks. I'm told a number of the underwater denizens from my domain were captured fair and square through your surpassing skill using the rod of fishing, little Hades. They're yours. I've millions more.
よう喋んなこいつ。
I know that toll.
Death has come. I only have a little time until my next assignment, but this shouldn't take too long.
別に来なくてもいいよ。
Here they come. Fresh for the taking, Zag.
Well then, have at it. What's the matter, Lerny? You seem quite upset. I'm empty. Good.
なんとか。
Heads.
Please visit me as frequently as you would like, or dare.
Forgive me, stranger, for, in retrospect, I was too terse after you told me what became of my Achilles. Tales of his climactic battle I had heard. The stuff about his ashes and my own, that was all new.
No need to even ask forgiveness, sir. Achilles is one of my closest friends, but he doesn't care to talk about himself, about those times. It must be very painful for the both of you.
Oh, we've all seen our share of pain by now. But knowing that he cared for me in the end, after the end, it dulls the feeling of it for a bit. As do these conversations, I guess.
Lord Ares, as bloodshed has become somewhat of a necessity in my situation, I'm very grateful that you're with me in this. I know never to take it for granted.
You're most gracious with me, my kin, and I remain enthralled as ever by your blood-soaked way of life. I trust the violence I have wrought on your behalf has been quite satisfactory.
There is but one thing I shall give to you, blackguard, other than the razor-sharp point of my blessed spear. You are resilient. Time after time you challenge us. Sometimes I fear I shall develop some sort of grudging respect for you.
何言ってんねんこいつ。
I've no such fear myself, Theseus, though I appreciate you noticing. You're quite an inspiration, you know. I wouldn't come all this way to destroy just anyone.
To be destroyed, you mean? I see you, plain monster. You seek the glory of this fight before this crowd? You yearn for it. Then you shall have it, just as often as you please.
I'm empty.
Athena! You're under my protection.
What?
Hope you enjoyed the show out in the stands. All set. I thank you, my lord Uncle Zeus, for your benevolence and your thunderous might.
You honor me, young man, as well you should, for I am ruler of Olympus, am I not? Such courtesies are shown me constantly, yet I appreciate them all. We meet again, young man. Yours isn't my affair, I know, and yet I cannot help but take an interest in your plight. Your father cast his lot. He need not take his anger out on you.
Each violent countenance of Cerberus agrees the satyr sack must be destroyed.
I owe you one, boy. I don't think I'll ever get accustomed to the breeze.
Who shall be first to return home this time, do you suppose?
勝負だ。
Become unstoppable.
Blast.
ああ、よかったわ。
Blast you, boy. We should have never sprung from chaos. None of this. Let's do this.
Yes. By my father's name.
あれ、まあいいよ。
There are a myriad of tales to be told, of both great deeds and of vainglorious defeats. And this has been a tale that falls somewhere in the middle overall.
Thank you, thank you.
あれ、宇宙の卵使ってハデス倒したんやけどな。あれじゃあかんの？
Go right ahead. I'll get you all signed in.
And what of the complaints from Elysium? They wanted the lawns thoroughly manicured for their athletic contests.
Already taken care of. Though the flooding in Asphodel, that doesn't look like something we can clear up for quite some time. Fortunately, the residents seem to be getting accustomed to it.
There have been fewer reports about it as of late. And what of the satyr problem? Blasted things are rampant up there still.
Well, they're probably contained up there, at least. And Zagreus has been keeping them in check, hasn't he?
He has.
Hits the spot, doesn't it, boy? I know you're caught up in the middle of all this and having to weigh your loyalties more than you'd like. I'm sorry we're putting you through this.
The Underworld Prince's next attempt to bribe the monstrous triple-headed hellhound into further liking him proves once again successful, as the kingly gift of heavenly ambrosia is beyond compare.
こたびも成功するんかい。
Cerberus cannot be bothered at this time.
何の見張りや。
You've returned.
Oh.
I think I see that look again, if I'm not mistaken in it, lad. What's on your mind? If you'd like to share, I'm listening.
Oh, it's just... sometimes I find my thoughts, they wander between those I care about. It's not just one. You mortals, typically you had a single suitor, did you not?
So we often told each other, yes. But you're not like us mortals, or us shades. Nor are most of the others here. You gods... I cannot think of even one who had a single mate. Although your father... maybe he is one.
へえ。そうなんや。
Wait, you're saying father, he was never with somebody else besides my mother?
Well, I of course don't know so very much about him, lad. But that's the way of it from what I've learned. You needn't follow in his footsteps, though. I think you know that well enough by now.
Somebody raised you very well indeed, my son. Nyx, I suppose. I'll never be half the mother she is. She's done it for eons. While I'm only getting started.
For what it's worth, I happen to think you're off to an excellent start. Nyx did teach me a lot. Achilles too, and father in a way. But there is no replacing your presence. I felt that before we ever met. And now I know for sure.
Thank you, Zagreus. Let's hope you're right. I nurtured very many plants, at least. Of that I can assure you. Perhaps my gardening experience provided a bit of a head start on this whole mothering thing.
Perhaps I am part plant. Hey, Orpheus. I got myself a lyre much like yours, except I'm absolutely miserable when I try to play. Got any advice?
Oh, why, that's splendid, Zagreus. And I can certainly show you a thing or two. First, the proper posture is important. Here. Now remember to practice the plucking technique which I taught you, and mind your offhand constantly. And above all, continue practicing. The joyfulness is in the practicing itself.
Thanks for the impromptu lesson, mate. Nix, you ever have a burning urge to find the case files for the circumstances under which our court musician bound himself to eternal servitude here in this house, and forever lost his opportunity to be with his beloved muse? I was wondering if you had a remedy for that.
Our court musician brings a certain peace to this abode, my child. But you may discover, once you find his case files in section Zeta Pi Omega upper beta folder, that the consequences that he suffers may be quite in excess of his trespasses.
丁寧に教えてくれたの。
Zeta Pi Omega upper beta folder. I'll look into it as soon as possible. Thinking I ought to check the old administrative chamber now. Contract I'm looking for should be back there.
Nestled among the towering administrative parchment work of the long since deceased lies an old document concerning a special pact signed by a once living court musician who attempted vainly to rescue his wife from death.
Okay, it should be dispatched over to the house contractor now.
Yes.
Hey, Meg, I understand you're under orders to kill me on sight out there, but do you really have to go so hard on Sisyphus?
That wretched shade isn't who you think he is. Do you have any idea of the magnitude of his crimes from when he led a mortal life?
He cheated death, tricked Thanatos, and maybe father too.
Before that, he did worse. He was an awful man. I think that is the real reason that your father punished him.
What if he's changed? Or is that impossible? No coming back from certain crimes.
No coming back from certain crimes indeed. Though you may have more mercy in your heart to spare than I in mine.
Pleasure doing business with you, Fates. Always happy to oblige Master Chaos. In the name of Hades, I hereby release Orpheus from the terms of his pact.
What? Where did you unearth that blasted contract?
You know, Skelly, I still cannot entirely get over that whole permanently kill you stunt you pulled on me. You had me deeply worried for a while, all for just a laugh.
Yeah, that's right. Not exactly much to do here, in case you hadn't noticed recently. Good thing I'm able to stay occupied with intellectual pursuits.
That's what you call it, then? In any case, I did want to make sure. Are you sure that you're all right having to stand around like this?
You kidding, pal? This is the life. Imagine getting paid to stand around and being pals with you.
Well, great, I guess. Skelly, I'm serious. You really won't tell me anything about you? You're just going to leave me to speculate forever?
Yep.
I have no idle time to spare you, boy. Have you observed the parchment work upon my desk? Go play with Thanatos, or Hypnos, or the dog. I need to finish this.
Here's to my friends and family. I salute you, Uncle Poseidon. Your strength and confidence inspire me, and you accepted me as part of the family without question. It means a lot.
Ah, nephew, but you needn't shower me with offerings and praise, you know. I have no need of showering at all. Not when I've the sea itself to do with as I please. I dare say, little Hades, you've some spunk in you. Why, I think you take after me more than my crusty elder brother. We'll get away from that old carter yet.
That's what you get.
I shall do everything within my power to defend you from the perils of your journey, Zagreus.
Whose favor to choose?
I very much appreciated that.
Are you testing the limits of my patience with you, Zagreus? Then I shall test your limits in turn.
Lady Athena, I'm sorry.
We've better things to do, I think, than fight amongst ourselves over a matter such as this.
A fishing point? Here.
I faintly sensed that you were able to confront your father while in possession of my small round catalyst. It seems my asking you, and your success, was in accordance with the Fate's design as well. The result is more amusing even than expected. Thus, thank you.
Think I know what you're going to say.
Murderer?
Oh, last chance.
Murder!
My weapons can grow even stronger now. Huh?
Mr. Hypnos, I wanted to check in with you again regarding the procession line that's right in front of you, right over there. It's moving pretty slow.
I know. Those shades, they just go on and on and on and on forever, blathering about this or that. I mean, Lord Hades, it's a wonder he can stand it, listening to them every day or night.
Well, it's just, I think you were supposed to keep things moving, so if they're taking too long, I guess maybe you could say something, or any bright ideas?
It's a toughie, Dusa, because I think it's important that the shades who wait their turn, why, that they get a chance to say their piece. But it's a real tricky situation you bring up, so let me tell you what I'm gonna do. I am going to sleep on it, and then get back to you.
Okay, well, if you don't, though, I'll check in with you again later, I guess. Because I'm under orders, so, bye.
Goodbye.
Back already. One thing before you depart again, boy. Until the Queen's intentions with Olympus come to pass, not a word to anyone about her presence here. Do you understand?
I do, but she won't have to hide forever. Cerberus, not to get all sentimental on you, but... Oh, who am I kidding? Look, you've been with me my entire life. I know you're here at home partly because of me, aren't you?
The bond between a hound and its master is as hard as adamant. Cerberus, the fearsome monster born of hell and guardian of its gates, answers firstly to the prince's father. But it turns out, the prince may be the next best thing.
You're the best boy in the whole world. Even if heads Beta and Gamma don't much care for pets, do they? I've got more than enough lined up for you, though. Count on it.
The hellish watchdog snarls at the listless shades crowding about the court.
See you.
Nyx has a very steady presence, doesn't she? I want to say she hasn't changed a bit since before you were born, but I know that she's been through a lot.
She's always managed, and quite gracefully at that. Never seen her break a sweat over anything, even when I confronted her about you. Though you two seem closer than I realized, I think.
Well, your father isn't always the conversationalist, and Nyx, she was the first chthonic god I ever met. I suppose she welcomed having another lady about the house.
I'm sure she did.
You're back.
Achilles, now that I have access to the administrative area again, I've access to the archives, and I have some authority to void those under certain circumstances. So about your pact.
I know you mean well, lad, and from the bottom of my heart, where once it was, I thank you truly for the thought. However, don't exert your influence on this. Not now, at least. The fates can twist intentions. I don't want to take the risk.
You're sure? Well then, I'll wait. But I am going to ask you again. We have to find a way to fix this. Patroclus is waiting.
Zagreus, the most amazing circumstances have occurred. The terms of my employment, they've been altered such that I may visit Asphodel sometimes. May visit her.
That's great. Orpheus, what are you waiting for, mate? Go and find your muse out there. You two have lots to catch up on, I think.
I think you're right. I am so very anxious, I must say. But I must also thank you for this opportunity and for speaking with me all this time. So, how might I repay you?
Why is it always talk of payment around here? You're my mate, and your songs have lifted many spirits here, including mine. Now go, and make the most of this, will you?
Thank you.
And next? What?
Nyx, I hate to be a bother, but I wanted to ask you about Chaos once again. Won't you at least try to reach out to them?
It is for Chaos to reach out to me if they wish to reacquaint themselves with me. Child, it would please me if we spoke no more of this for now.
I see. I'm sorry to have troubled you. The prophecy has been fulfilled. Hope Orpheus and Eurydice can be happy again.